Welcome, everyone. I'm Kimberly Boscheman, and this is the Intentionally Intuitive podcast. In this episode, we are going to first take a look at the universal cycle for September 2022, and then we're going to break it down into each individual life path and take a look at those individual forecasts. This, of course, is a general reading. If you would like a personalized reading, please book some time with me. My information is in the description box below. Also want to mention that coaching sessions for numerology, coaching with numerology, are now available again via Zoom. So I had to take them down for a little bit for personal reasons, but they are back. So if you wanted to meet face-to-face to have those coaching sessions, they're available again. I have some spots left in September, so get them while they're hot. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at September's energy, what we're working with the numerology, and how best to use that to our advantage, right? Okay, so the universal cycle for September is a 15-6 energy. So collectively, the energy of September can bring about welcomed personal freedoms, as well as larger scale freedoms, like on a global scale. However, keep in mind, the lifting of restrictions or opportunities for great progress often requires some kind of radical change after a more chaotic culmination. So the more radical change allows for a shift or a release from present limitations, allowing for much freer expression and more room to move and breathe. So no one's saying that this is necessarily going to be easy, but what it's allowing for is worth moving through it. So this can be a cycle where experiences sort of assist us in moving away from very rigid, long-held beliefs, and new beliefs can then come in, right, and bring more peace while sort of eradicating old fears. So think of September as the liberator. It's bringing this very liberating energy with it. Now, of course, as I always say, the energy can be present, but it's always what we do with it that's going to make the difference. Like if we put in the effort, if we show up, if we try to work with this energy, we're going to see the greatest rewards. If we fight it, if we try to move away from it, we're still going to get to the other side of it. But it's not going to be as comfortable, and we're just not going to sort of reap what we want. We're going to reap what we sow, right? So this can be a period when we have to be very, very decisive and make very important decisions while deciding whether those choices are self-limiting or setting us free. So overly attaching or clinging to people, things that sort of put us in a space of servitude or obligation, that can create burnout and resentment. So be very mindful about what contracts or what agreements that you choose to enter into during this cycle. If it feels good and liberating, great, go for it. You have the green light, and you probably won't have buyer's remorse. But if it feels restrictive, if it feels burdensome, or you have concerns, maybe try and wait until after this energy sort of passes. So maybe wait until the next month, if you can, right? Until you feel better about it, or again, until you have more information, if you can do that. Of course, we have to live life. We don't base it on the numerology or astrology or psychic predictions or whatever. We have to do what feels right for us in the moment. So just take this as guidance and do with it what you want. I'd also say with this energy, there's a big focus on not judging a book by its cover, especially this month. Outward appearances when it comes to a situation, especially around close relationships and or home life, can sort of cause unnecessary heartaches, trouble in partnerships, or knee-jerk reactions that carry heavy repercussions. So try to dig a bit deeper beyond the illusion to better understand the situation more holistically. Communication is golden, period. Inner realities are more trustworthy than outward appearances. But the more that you can communicate, the more that you're open to communication, the more that you can work through more quickly and just move on. And it may be that the other person is not willing to communicate. That's okay. If you tried, that's all you need to do. But in every situation, communication and real true communication where both parties are able to speak their truth and be heard, whether or not you agree with each other, but just that opportunity for that respect of conversation, just can clear up so much and alleviate so much drama. So I would say, word to the wise, especially in September, if you have an opportunity to open a line of communication, I would say do it. But again, the catchphrase for September, I think, is inner realities are more trustworthy than outward appearances. So really trust your gut, dig deeper, go with how you feel, take your time if you can, and just take your time. Throughout September especially, try to find the lighter side to a situation if you can. Even when we're going through the most difficult of challenges, laughter or even just a smile can change that energy of the moment and lift spirits. Laughter truly is the best medicine, not to sound cliche, but it truly is. And where there's laughter, there's always light. So maybe watch funny movies, spend time with children or playful animals, or surround yourself with people who can just always seem to make you laugh or giggle. We underestimate, I think, the true power and the true energy of laughter, but it is more priceless than any materialistic item on the planet. And we always have access to it. That's the thing. It's just we have to be willing to try to tap into it. When we can find our own ways of sort of looking beyond the limitations of circumstances, we bring about peace and satisfying solutions to that situation. So laughter cleanses the soul and can lead to physical healing. Laughter is a form of freedom. I'm going to say it again because I truly do believe it. Laughter is a form of freedom. So that's your forecast for September for the collective with the universal energies. Let's go ahead and take a look at the numerology and the energies for each individual life path number. Life path number 9. So I pulled an animal spirit message for you all, and you got hummingbird spirit, and this is such beautiful energy. I would even, if you don't know a lot about the hummingbird, I would recommend before or whenever you listen to this to just watch or read up on hummingbirds. They're such incredible little creatures. Like some of the things that they're able to do aren't seen in anywhere else in the animal kingdom. Like they're just such incredible little birds. So with hummingbird, what's kind of coming through is just this energy of like homecoming, coming home to like rest after a long labor, sort of this feeling of like nirvana. So kind of I get this sense of like coming home after a long day of work and just like coming home to your castle. And so again, like if where you live, if it doesn't feel like a sanctuary for you, try to make it a sanctuary. I think we talked about that in one of the previous readings, and you can do that affordably, but it's worth the investment, right? So even if like you just have a small room within a place, can you make that like feel really good for you? Just that environment. And how can you do that? Because it's going to be unique for each and every one of you. But there's definitely something here about like, home is where the heart is, and like just recuperating and giving yourself time to rest your weary wings, right? Because you think about the hummingbird, it's like it's always buzzing and going, and there's always a million things to do and all of that. And so there's just this energy with hummingbird to be, I just picture the hummingbird like sitting on like in its nest or on like a limb, right? Just taking rest, giving itself permission to rest after giving of itself so much. And as 9 energy, this is so needed, I think, because I mean, it's just 9s are so giving in nature that sometimes you just need time to rest and rejuvenate. And so Hummingbird is giving you permission to do that. Not that you need permission, but is giving you the reminder that you need to make time and space to do that. Okay, so looking at the energy for September for you all are working with undercurrent energy of the 15-6. So this could bring, this is interesting because we're just talking about home and like home is your castle and all that, but, and this may be why Hummingbird's kind of coming through, just to remind you to make it your sanctuary, to have that safe space within your home that you can go to rejuvenate because of the energy kind of coming through this month. So with 15-6 energy, there is this potential for like strong, sort of tense emotions or experiences to kind of surface around the home or family life during this month. So again, it's kind of like if there are things that you have been avoiding or you don't want to have the conversation with somebody about, or you kind of keep pushing it under the carpet, this energy is going to bring it to the surface because it's going to want to like be like, okay, this relationship is not working. You need to find a way out of it. Or there's a breakdown in communication, and so it's affecting your relationship. The conversation needs to be had. The lines of communication need to be reopened. How can we do that? And so this energy is going to like bring the things to the surface that need to be brought to the surface. But in doing so, it can bring up sort of like, like that tense energy or like the uncomfortableness of having to like have those conversations, right? So there is the potential for sort of stronger, more tense emotions coming up around relationships, and it's relationships that that are close to our heart. So like again, partnerships, like romantic partnerships, family, friends, whatever. Or again, and it could be like things about the home. Like maybe you want to sell, but your partner doesn't want to sell. Or maybe you want to paint, I don't know. It could be so simple as like you want to paint the kitchen, but your partner doesn't like the color you picked out. And so you need to kind of have those conversations, right? It could be that simple. It doesn't have to be like this big life-changing thing, but there's going to be something potentially, if there's something that you need to have a conversation about. For some of you, that's not going to be relevant. You'll just have to hold space for someone, or you just won't even see the energy. But for others, again, could see things come up around that. So again, if that is the case, then I would also come back to Hummingbird Spirit, just to remember it's okay to like, if a conversation gets heated or it starts going in a direction that is tense or starts to feel very strong, it's okay to be like, let's reconvene. Let's pause. Let me go to my sanctuary. You go to yours. Let's think about this. Let's calm down and then reconvene. It's totally okay to do that. And it's very healthy to do that. So just remember that as well. It's okay to like take a break, to rest, right? Be careful not to dive into conflict with loved ones. Sometimes it's easy to sort of like want to stand our ground or like want to like be heard or like whatever the case may be, or we think we're right in the situation or whatever. And maybe we are right in the situation, but it's easy to kind of dive into that conflict. And so I would say, hold your boundaries, be very honest with how you feel, but try to find ways to de-escalate the situation rather than to escalate it. And that's kind of what I mean by like with Hummingbird Spirit too. Knowing when to like pause, knowing when to hit the pause button and be like, let's reconvene. Let's come back to this, because right now neither of us are in the space to be able to do it maturely or in a healthy way. So basically this month you may find experiences where you have to be the bigger person, which, that's okay too, especially for 9 energy. I think you're probably used to that, but it does sort of de-escalate the situation at times. And you could find yourself this month in a lot of situations where it behooves you to be kind over right, because you can reconvene and have the conversation, but if it's not going anywhere, then what's the point of continuing to escalate it? So just kind of keep that in mind. You'll know when to pull the plug on something and take a breather, or whether to keep going. This is not the month to hold grudges, resentments, or judgments. And so if there is a situation, especially when it comes to family or home life, where there is resentment, judgment, or you're holding a grudge, This is going to be the month that it's going to come to the surface, probably in a big way, and it needs to be worked through. It's not serving anybody, including you, to have those feelings, to be holding on to that energy. It is not serving you, and it's certainly not serving the other person. And so definitely those energies could come up to be worked through this month. So, and it's okay, like I said, it's okay to take breaks. It's okay, just don't quit on whatever it is. It's, the conversation is going to have to be had. The experience is going to have to be moved through, but you can take breaks. So just think of Hummingbird, right? So, hope it's a beautiful month for you all. Thank you so much for listening. Take care, nines. Bye for now.